Hello, this is a video for people who are interested in our language, in the language spoken all around Mont Blanc, which is not French. Traditionally, it was Franco-Provençal or Arpitan. So there is a kind of quarrel, controversy about the name of that language. Linguists gave it the name of Franco-Provençal in 1874, but nowadays people prefer calling it Arpitan because it comes from the Alps. So Alp is Arpa in our language, so that's why we'd like to call it Arpitan, the Latin language of the Alps. So anyway, Savièse is in Switzerland, in the canton of Valais. As you know, there are many cantons or kinds of departments, or what shall we say for American people, some states, if you want. Actually, in Switzerland, cantons are called states too. Anyway, so in Valais, all around the River Rhône, before Lake Geneva, people used to speak that language called Arpitan or Patois. And how did they try to write it? So some people wrote it in very instinctive way. That is exactly the way they would pronounce it in French, or just they tried to find a way. Other people were linguists and had a linguistic background, and that was the case when two men prepared this lexicon of the language of Savièse, the spoken language of Savièse. And these two men were Christopher Favre, he was a man from Savièse, and also Zachary Ballay, who continued his work when Christopher Favre died. So they managed to create, can you imagine, it's a village of 3,000, it was a village of 3,000 inhabitants, or it was commons actually, so a reunion of different villages. But anyway, they managed to create that lexicon of 11,000 words with proverbs and example sentences for every noun. An enormous job there. Anyway, so how did they write the language? Linguists say that an O with an acute accent is an O which is closed. So, for example, if you want to say for, in French you would say pour, and in Patois you would say pour, with a closed O. And on the other hand, if you put grave accent on a letter, it makes it opened. For example, if you want to say day, in Patois it's called zo, o. So you have an O which is opened, o, like in some French words. Let me think. Doesn't come to my mind just right now. Anyway, so it's the same for E, and that is an E with an acute accent as in French E, and with a grave accent as in French E. Exactly the same. We also have a special sound, the sound to, which is in French, it's called un. For example, if you want to say sly, it's called malin in French, and in Patois it's maoun, woun. So it's written en with an e with two dots at the top. So that's the way it is written, and we also have a special sound for a kind of R which is between an R and a D. Sometimes it's important to make the difference between a rolled R, like parrain, and this special R between R and D, like padin, padin. If you don't make the difference, you don't know that the first one is the noun for just a man. A man is called parrain, and a member of the family, a parent if you want, it will be pronounced padin, padin. So that's something you should do correctly if you learn patois of Savièse, so the Arpitan of Savièse. You have the same sound in vedei, vedei, which means true, vrai in French. So that's about these sounds. It's very handy that they managed to write it the way linguists do, because you can really learn to pronounce it correctly. Everything wasn't perfect. For example, the sound, which is very common, is the same as in fit in English. That is this sound which is not an E as in French and not an E. But in between in English, fit is not pronounced E and not E. It's not fet, it's not fit. It's fit in between. So this same sound is written E in our handwriting. And sometimes it doesn't really correspond, but because, for example, if you want to say town, which is ville in French, you say in patois vau, vau, although in the lexicon it's written with this E. Normally, if you pronounce it the way it should be, theoretically it should be veu, but you should pronounce it rather vau. And the same for village. It's not veoazo, it's voazo. So, very small details. But now, every village, as I said at the beginning, wrote it his own way. So, if you type it on a computer and speak with friends all around Mont Blanc, your patois language, people don't recognize the way you transcribe your sounds, because it's a different transcriptions. So there were many efforts made all around Mont Blanc. They tried to adopt signs like the small hat, circumflex accent, meaning a long sound, for example. So they made some efforts, and in Valais, very recently, I think 2 or 3 years ago, they managed to make a common phonetic orthography for patois. But this is a bit stupid, because why should we really change the traditional way the patois is written? If you have the traditional way, you can learn to pronounce it very well in your village, in your town. What we need is a common way to write it beyond the differences of pronunciation. And one man who managed to do that was this man called Dominic Stich. Dominic Stich, a picture here, is a linguist originating in Switzerland, but who studied at the Sorbonne in Paris. And he just went all around Mont Blanc and collected a lot of words all around Mont Blanc. He's a passionate man, and he did a lot of work on that to find a common way to write the language. As it were, he tried to find the words which would be recognized when you write it by everybody, although everybody has different way to pronounce the word. For example, in the patois of Savièse, we say for something, we say carquier sauge. In this handwriting, we should write it carques chouzes. And perhaps it corresponds to the pronunciation of other people around Mont Blanc. Perhaps some people say carque chouza. I don't really care. I just want to have a way which is going to be understood by other people all around Mont Blanc. And so these ways to write the language is very close to the Latin way, to the Latin original word, and this is also why people understand it. So I just wanted to explain it. This is not koine, as they say. That is, it's not where this way to write the language is not reducing the meanings, possible meanings of a word. If you belong to a certain region, you will just transcribe your own language with that handwriting, and you will keep the meanings of your region. So there is no fear that some people, like let's say intellectuals, are going to impose their meanings, the meanings of some words, on a certain region. And that's what some linguists all around Mont Blanc don't understand yet. They have the impression that the people who advocate a common handwriting want to impose a single language on these different regions, which have very different histories and very different pronunciations, which is not the case. Every region can go on pronouncing his own way. Even if you write it in a common way, you can pronounce it in a different way. As if, let's say, you would write a text in English and a Scotsman would pronounce it differently from a person from Kent. So, best regards, have a nice day, goodbye.